Welcome back, everyone, to Snowrunner here. It is currently 1 a.m. in the game. We're sleeping in our truck, but we're ready to get our day started. So, first thing we're going to take care of is some more missions. Now that we have explored this whole map, it is time to start pounding out some of those missions. So we can come on over to possibly some contracts. We can do the wet harvest for the finally. Now that we finally have access to bricks, so we have to cut across that huge mud field again back to the warehouse to pick up some bricks. Then once we get down to the farm, all we'll need is wooden planks and some metal beams. So we'll get started on that. Alright, well, we have successfully made it to the warehouse. That wasn't too bad to pick up a little bit of damage there on our gas tank, but that's okay. A little bit of damage just means she's used. I've seen a couple other channels and stuff playing Snowrunner, and some people getting through the game without like any damage or anything. It's insane. I can't imagine. I always end up damaging something. Guess it just means I'm a little bit too aggressive when I drive. It's a video game though. I mean, that's kind of part of the fun. I like kind of like when you end up in that kind of awkward position where you're like, well, what am I gonna do now? Alright, and I'll go deliver these to the farm, and then we'll head on out to get the rest of the supplies we need. So, hopefully it's a more or less uneventful drive. Of course, an eventful drive isn't always the worst thing in the world either. I was really hoping she'd pull herself out there, but unfortunately she could not, so needed a little bit of winch work. And here we are back at the farm. That was not too bad. We had a couple of interesting moments. Picked up some damage. had two sections there in that last big mud pit where I was a little nervous if it was going to make it through or not, so that was rather interesting. Once we're done this one, I think we're going to tackle that Dyson Diesel mission. It's kind of like the main story mission of this map. Going to be setting up a drilling rig, I believe is how it's supposed to go, or what it is, so it requires a lot of steps and all that, so we'll get to that big job here as soon as we're done with this one. That hurt. Wasn't expecting to take that much damage there. Alright, here we are, ready to pick up our metal beams. I think I'm gonna try looking. I can't remember where, if we left a trailer near here or if there's a trailer on the other side of this building. I'm probably gonna pick up a wiggle wagon so we can load up some wooden beams in here so that we don't have to make this trip a million times. The repetitiveness can get a little mind-numbing sometimes and very boring for others to watch. It's a little bit different when you're the one playing. You kind of zone out a little bit and just get it done, but ah yes, we did leave a trailer over here. It does have some stuff in it, but we can remove it, so I think I can squeeze in here without hitting the fence or anything. It looks like I'm hung up on the sign. Our smokestacks are too tall. Oh, look at that. Ah, no, we nicked the fence. Too bad. Alright, let's go pick ourselves up some wooden planks and then we'll head back to the farm and... Oh, sorry, sign. And we'll get started on the next big thing. So, should pick up fuel while we're here. Alright, we've arrived at the lumber yard, so we can load up our wooden planks now to finish up this mission. I'm not going to be going for a like 100% playthrough. I'm going to try and do what I can and then make the money that I can and all that, but on hard mode it is a lot trickier and a lot more of a grind, because on the easier difficulty, or on the normal difficulty you could say, you can just like buy and sell trucks and not have to worry about the payment because you always make your money back. But with hard mode, you don't make the money back, so you have to be really careful with what you spend your money on. So new trucks and stuff like that become a little bit like you can't just try out a truck just to see how it works. So I have to have a bit of a plan on things I want to buy. And I do want to try using some trucks that I've never used before, because I've always gone with the same ones. So that's my plan with that anyways, so... Alright, and here we are. Safe arrival at the farm. Wooden planks and a metal beam. That's going to make a big difference. These farmers would be in real trouble if it weren't for you. So I'm sure we'll be calling on your services again soon. So that's super awesome. Glad we got that dealt with. We did pick up another contract for, but you can see it is delivering to the Smithdale Dam, which is in another section of this map. Steel River Supplies isn't what I'm looking for. So Dyson Diesel, we do want to work on the pipe dream. So we need to deliver 2 bricks and a metal beam to the factory. So the best thing to do is to probably going to be collecting all of that with the wiggle wagon and our truck here, and then bringing it over to the factory. This in here is an incredibly deceptive area, and it can eat your truck if you're not prepared. It's happened to me a few times, and obviously it would be hilarious, but it's also so inconvenient because you're probably going to lose your trailer as well, because you get so bogged down. So because I know that, I know better, and I'm not going to be taking that route. We're probably going to crawl over here through the mountain pass, down through here, then down through this trail here, and then up. It'll be a pretty easy, pretty no issues kind of drive. The bigger issue is when we've got the heavy fuel tank semi-trailer. It's going to be the biggest trailer we've hauled yet, and I'm not too sure how I want to do it yet. I would have to bring our GM all the way up to the factory and then all the way back down to the garage to equip the saddle high, and then drive over to the fuel station to pick it up, and it's right here. Be a lot of wasted gas, but the Fleet Star isn't very good for it. There's something about how long the Fleet Star's frame is when you put a semi-trailer on it and you're going like up or down hills. When the trailer starts going up and like the truck's coming back down, the frame catches and then the front end starts wiggling around. So it's not a good truck for those kind of things, so I generally just try to avoid using it when I can. So we'll probably just end up using the GMC. I'm not too worried about saving fuel and all that because I'm not doing the 100% playthrough. Just gonna have fun with it, and we're gonna do what we can when we can. It's much more exciting for sure when you get to the other maps. Michigan it's pretty forgiving. There's a lot of roads basically everywhere you need to go. The roads are bad, but you never have to get into anything too hairy unless you do something really crazy. When you start getting over to Russia mainly is kind of the big one. That's where you start losing your road access and all that. So starts getting a little bit more challenging. So maybe the faster we get out there, the faster we can start having some real fun with it. But we can't go too fast, otherwise we're gonna end up losing. Just essentially losing. This here is the heavy fuel semi-trailer that we are going to have to haul. And the best thing to do with this thing, for sure, would be to go and undig out all the trucks, unlock all the trucks that we can on this entire region, throw a fuel carrier on one of them, fill it up with fuel, fill this up with fuel, like all the fuel trailers, fill it up and steal as much of that 5,000 as we actually can. But as I kind of mentioned before, I'm not as worried about the fuel. I mean, if we have to pay for fuel, we'll have to pay for fuel. It's part of a trucking company in the real world. You know, our truck to run for an entire day, it costs us anywhere from like 500 up a day just to run the trucks for a day. So you don't just get free fuel hanging around all the time. So if a little realism has to hit us, then so be it. I just think that is kind of part of the challenge of hard mode. I mean, you can get around the hard mode so easily with a lot of tricks. So I do like making the game a bit more challenging and interesting for myself. So eventually you just get the best trucks, you get the best everything, and then all of a sudden they just become jobs that you're trying to get done. A lot of those DLC maps, though, they take you by surprise, so you don't realize how tough they are until you're actually in them. Well, I must say, that was a little rougher than I was expecting. She did not want to crawl through that little river crossing at all. That makes me kind of nervous for the future here. So, we're going to utilize a little bit of a technique that I noticed that a lot of other people use when they've got these trailers. I have been fighting through and trying to just load it as is, but this little crane just isn't good for this. So we're gonna do it the smart way that everyone else does. We're gonna load our bricks up in the trailer and the metal beams in the truck. I think the only thing heavier than the metal beams is the concrete slabs, which are the 2-slot concrete blocks versus concrete blocks that are just 1 slot each. So I think the slabs are the biggest and heaviest. If the bricks are heavier than the metal, that is my bad. Be nice if there was like a weight system on the game itself, like as you're loading stuff, it's like, oh, this is heavier than this and stuff like that. Be a nice little update if the game did that. Alright, and we are ready to be off, so let's hope we don't run into any more issues crossing that river, because that's kind of about where I'm thinking we're going to have to do it. Because if we could barely get through there, we're not getting through the swamp. So, fingers crossed, and let's get this done. Alright, we've made it to the river crossing, so let's hope we can do this. Oh yeah. I do think it's a little bit easier to get this way than that way, because you don't have to climb up such a steep hill like you do going the other way. So, a little bit of throttle control never hurts either. Wheel spin is not always your friend. It's fun, but it's not always your friend. Alright, and we have successfully arrived at the factory. Look at that gorgeous sun setting, the reds. Ah, that is gorgeous looking. And here we are back, or we've made it to the factory. Relatively no issues there. Went super well. Oh, wait a second. Oh yeah, no. So we need to get the saddle high now and then deliver that semi-tanker trailer. So I think we're gonna bring our wiggle wagon all the way back there and we'll detach there. I don't really want to go through that river crossing again, but it is the fastest way to get back to the garage. I'm wondering if while we're there I should install, I think we picked up the raised suspension for this, so the lift kit. I don't think we're able to buy those off-road tires yet. I don't think we've picked up a level in a little while. Can't always remember, it seems. So some all-terrain tires for this thing would be very nice, but we'll make do with what we've got as well. I actually just remembered that that isn't actually the easiest way back to the garage, because you have to get through the river crossing that we have currently chewed up, and it's getting kind of nasty. But there's also that really deep mud section and everything just beside the garage. That's where we'd come out. And that can be nasty to get through too. So it's actually probably fastest to come this way and then cut through the farm. So I think that's what we're gonna go with this time. Try and use different roads to keep them from getting too tore up and everything like that. I mean, every time you reload the game, I think it resets it all, but still, better safe than sorry. Plus, this gives us a chance to drop this trailer and then possibly grab a little bit of fuel. Since we are at 48 liters, so yeah, if we had gone the other way, that would have been a mistake. We would have ran out of fuel, and we would have had to have rescued it, brought something out. So, sorry for all of you that were probably thinking and hoping I'd do it, so that way I'd run out of fuel and you could watch me fail. But the failures are what makes this game so much more fun to watch. Watching somebody else go flying around the corner and all of a sudden, you know, they lose control or something. I mean, can't help but hope. You're like, oh, come on, get stuck or something, or damage your truck. And there it is, damaging my truck again. Makes it more interesting. Like, we could be constantly using a repair trailer to repair the truck and making sure it's in full working condition the whole time, but when you start beating it up too much and you start going, oh, I don't know how we're gonna do this, you know, the engine gets damaged enough that it starts spewing fire and sucking back the fuel, your gas tank's leaking, your transmission is slipping out of gear. Like, those are pretty extreme cases for sure, and I won't say otherwise, but it's kind of funny when it happens and then you have to fight through a rough situation just to make everything better again, right? Blow a couple tires or something on the road and all of a sudden you're like, well, I don't have any spares, like, we'll try and get this job done and then go repair it, kind of thing. So I love that part of the game. Alright, and here we are. So we've got $10,000, it looks like. That's pretty awesome. We do not have the best engine yet. Getting a off-road gearbox would surely be pretty awesome. We do have the raise, so I'm thinking we throw that on because we do get it for free. Yeah, these are the worst of the highway tires. These ones here, I think, are the best for off-roading and mud. Because, like, even though it says excellent, average, poor, there is actually statistics behind it. So I do think that these ones are actually the best highway tires, and that might be what the Fleet Star has on it. The diff lock is still locked. That's a level 10 item. A snorkel, all-wheel drive, and our frame add-ons. So we are going to take our sideboard bed off, and I am going to remove our crane because it's just extra weight that we really just don't need. So, all right, let's go get this trailer and get this job on the road. It's nighttime now, working well into the night once again. Trucker's life. Start work at 1 in the morning and we're working till, let's just see right now, it's about, that's 10 o'clock, right? 2200 hours, it's around 10. So we've put in almost a 24-hour day here, but we don't stop, we get the job done. Oh, cut that corner a little bit sharp, but here we are, ready to hook up to our semi-trailer. So here we go. A little far off, but almost had it. Alright, there we go. Biggest haul yet, so let's steal some fuel out of it before we take off. And alright, let's get this job on the road. Gotta take nice big wide corners with this heavy beast. A diff lock sure would be nice, let me tell you. This would be an insane mission to attempt without fixing this bridge first. You'd have to take it all the way, you'd have to take this trailer through the farm, and then through that huge mud section that you guys saw me go through to get to the garage the one day. Or you'd have to go down into the swamp where we picked up that fuel trailer, and you'd have to come up one of these hills over here. It would just be absolutely atrocious. So I think the best way to deal with this game is when you get to a new region, use a scout vehicle, scout out everything, find where the road is blocked, try and get as many upgrades as you can, which we haven't done yet. But unlock all the roads and then start tackling missions, just that way you're not hinderancing yourself and taking away some of your options, because some of the missions can definitely be unforgiving. Absolutely ridiculous thinking about taking a trailer this size down an off-road trail in the middle of the night. It's kind of crazy to think about. I mean, I've been on some pretty crazy roads myself over the winter time. We had some pretty insane roads that we had to go on with our truck, and it was like, I can't believe we're doing this. But this I think is another level of ridiculous. I mean, look at that behemoth. You want to pull that through these tight roads and everything? That's just madness. Oh, I'm making a wrong turn here. So that's okay though. We're almost done. We've almost got this guy back to its new home. Alright, and here we are at the factory. This is a job well done, nothing too crazy hard, but still a level of ridiculous. That is quite the trailer. Now the factory is online and we can focus on getting local drilling operations up and running again. I'm sure we could use your help with those too, so keep your ears open. It's gonna net us a good $3,800 and 450 experience. So we will be hauling this behemoth of a trailer here pretty soon, I imagine. So that's going to be a fun episode, that's for sure. We are currently level 4, probably hit level 5 after the next mission, and then got level and a half roughly until we can get ourselves the all-terrain tires for this baby here. So, alright, well that's enough for today's episode. So thank you everyone so much for watching. That was a little bit of fun, getting stuck in the mud and everything, but we're starting to make some headway here. So thank you all for your support and hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.